Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
Great to meet you.
Same here, and sorry to kept you waiting.
You're fine. It's a busy world, you know?
Yeah.
I get it. Hey, so um the first thing I want to do before we get into your life, very interesting life. You have a great journey geographically and full of accomplishments. How did you survive COVID? The last 3 years has been quite a thing for all of us. How did you get through it and how has it changed the way that you live your life now?
So with God's grace, in immediate family members, all were safe. That is number one.
Yeah.
And I think it was the bonding of us as a family that really helped us. It was challenging. How it changed my world. It changed my world with the perspective that I don't need to go to work every day. I can work from home
Yeah.
versus before, oh man, how can I work from home? I have to be in office. I have to be in office. So that is number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I think that the thought process of taking self-care,
Yeah.
that life is too short. I mean, you don't know what's happening next. So taking more care about yourself, taking more care about your loved ones, and spending creating those magic moments that help you in living those moments. And for us, for our family, vacation is that magic moments where we are together, where there is no phones or no work phones,
Yeah.
and we just cherish those moments. So we have started taking more and more time off, spending time together between four of us.
So let's kind of get into the beginnings and more of an understanding of you being a dynamic leader. And I'm going to start off with I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at a career day. One of the kids looks up at you and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
I help people making their dreams fulfill.
So when you were in the third grade, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I was not aware of that, honestly.
Yeah.
I never thought about that,
Yeah.
that what I want to be. Um, because theoretically, for kids in India, 90% of them want to become engineers or doctors. But honestly, this is an honest answer. I never thought of that at the third grade, what exactly I want to become.
Yeah.
Yes, as I was growing up, I was able to understand that what I want to do and what are my preferences, what should be my choices, and eventually move into the human resources field.
You know, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever said this before, but I've always felt it inside. I have a feeling that in a previous life, there's something about me that's tied to India. I love the Hinduism mindset. And I remember one time I was working at a lab in one of the more impoverished areas of Kansas City. And a
Mhm.
gentleman came in who went to Mahatma Gandhi University, very well trained in technology, overly qualified. And I was offering a part time position to run a lab.
Mhm.
And I really liked him, and I said, "Look, man, I don't wanna do this to you. You require more," and he explained to me what it took for him to get here and how this would be a foothold for him and it would help him. But he understood that maybe he needed to look further. We kept in touch. He ended up moving to Chicago and kind of used that as a springboard and did other things. But anyways, I've always felt as though there's a mentality with the Indian culture that really prizes work, and every time I
Mhm.
meet somebody from India in the United States, there is a driven, intuitive, grounded, humble nature that goes into who you are. So I wanna kinda dig into, like, where you were born and raised and how these seeds got into you to want to excel and to really wanna help people be who they need to be.
So I would say that my parents were the biggest area of ray of light for me. So what they did with their surroundings, it just caught my attention. So my dad used to work for Indian government, and he was always service for people. So his approach, how he was talking with people, how he was helping others without any selfishness, that is something that got into me, that you have to do good to others. my mom, how she was taking care of our helpers or our family members, extended family members, whenever people were coming as a guest, the treatment that was given, that those things really ingrained in me
Yeah.
that, man, this is important. No matter whatever you do, you need to take care of people, whether it is your family or outside. And um, and just this weekend, there's an episode I wanted to share on this. So I had my son's soccer game, and I was just waiting for him to come to me. He was on the other side of the field doing the celebration with his team, and I was walking on my car, and I heard a father talking to his son that, my son, I don't know where will I get a store to get food for you. I don't know if there are any vending machine nearby. Let me check. And I just overheard. And I had some snacks in the car, because we always keep snacks because we travel from one game to another or one practice to another. So I offered them, "Hey, would you mind, if I can offer these snacks?" And the boy really loved the gesture, and I felt very good that I was able to help. And when my son came in, I was just telling him that, hey man, we need to make sure that our snack is ready always. We have our snacks in our car for us, and also when we can help someone who is in need, not just because they don't have money, but for some other reasons also. So that's the kindness gesture has come from my parents.
That's wonderful. So, who would you consider role models or a hero for you in your life?
Definitely, no doubt, my father. I have no doubt in that, because I've seen him. He's an inspiration, and the bar that he has set is very difficult to cross. I mean, because I always used to think my work and his work. My work is about a team, 100 people, 200 people, but he's a public servant. For him, is the entire city,
Wow.
the entire nation, because the kind of work he was doing before he got the retirement. He was the administrator of a very famous temple in India, Lord Shiva temple, and there are so many people visit from all over the country. So he was a public servant for them. And today, when I go and visit the temple, I hear things that, man, what your dad did, no one can do. Things have changed now, and all those kind of things. So he has really set that high bar in the self discipline, going above and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, he was having 9 to 5 job, but he was there 8 to 8 in the temple,
Yeah.
just because he had that love to serve people and serve the God.
That's heavy. So, let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, someone you admire, who would it be? Who would you love to spend time with?
I would love to spend time with Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to spend, I know you have not asked me that question, but I will tell you, is one of the thing which, while I was doing research about my book, one of the habits in my book talks about silence. And Nelson Mandela's name used to come every now and then when I was doing research. So I did a deep dive on his life, and definitely I want to know more about the things he learned from his father and the things he did when he was in prison, how he got that courage and the resilience to give back to the community.
You know, what's fascinating about him is that he didn't think he was gonna survive that trial. He thought they were gonna kill him because he was
Mhm.
with an accomplice. But can you imagine, I heard a story on this, and we all know loosely the story of Nelson Mandela, but just to imagine that he chartered out to change something that took 27 years, and when he came out, what he wanted to have changed totally happened. Can you
Mhm.
imagine how mind-blowing that would be to see the world in the way that you dreamed it?
Yeah,
Wild.
absolutely.
Wild.
Absolutely. That is what I call as a miracle.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
so in my book, the miracles, habit for miracles, is not those supernatural miracles. Is the miracles is anything that you could not do it, or you thought that you will not be able to do it because of your limiting belief, or someone never thought that you can do and you are able to do it. That is what miracle is all about.
Absolutely. So let's get to the heart and soul of what makes you tick every day. What is the motivator? When you get up, you have things that you want to accomplish, people that you want to make happy. You want to fulfill yourself. What's the ultimate motivator for you?
The ultimate motivator is if I'm able to help someone who is struggling, help someone who needs some guidance, help someone who needs some inspiration. I'm always looking for that moment where I could be that source. The another aspect is I want to live a life that my kids are proud of, the legacy that I leave behind. And it is sometimes, it's so funny. One day my wife told me that, you know what, you don't need to worry about our son. And I said, why? Because he's learning everything from you, so you just need to take care of you. He's just a replica of you, the way you talk on the phone, the way you get dressed up, everything. So for every parent, it's we are the role model. We are the
Yeah.
first person that they see before they go out, and they spend most of the time at home. So how we interact with them, how we share things with them is very very important. So that is what keeps me motivated. That am I able to keep them happy? Am I able to teach them things that will help them in their life?
It's funny, I always thought about that, whenever it really comes to parenting 101, the big thing is they always watch you. They soak in all of that. So
Mhm.
whether good, bad, ugly, otherwise, they're gonna
Absolutely,
absorb that. It's wild.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's wild. So when you get to the end of that proverbial day and you look back and think about it, how do you quantify a good day? How do you say that day was a good day?
So actually, there's a choice that I have, uh, and in the mindset I have. So I want to call every day as a good day because I want to feed my mind that whatever you did was good. Whether it is bringing the result that you thought of or not, that is a different story. But as long as you gave your best, because effort is in our hand, we cannot control the result. So when we go to bed, that hey, what is the act of kindness? What is the gratitude? What great things you did without any selfish motive? If we are able to count those one or two things, and inside also, like saying thank you to my wife when she's making our tea or coffee or a food. Sometimes we just take things for granted. And for my kids for getting up in the morning, making their school bag ready, making their water bottle filled. Those are the small things that they help me so that they can get ready and we can go to school on time. Those thank youness.
So aside from your family and your children, what have you done in your life that you're the proudest of?
The people I have interacted in the last 20 years, the employees of the organization that I have worked with, I have right from scratch. So they were just fresh entry level grads. And today they are the leader, they are the country head of a couple of countries that our organization is supporting. Um, they have been able to inculcate more leaders. So that is what is my proudest moments and proudest thing that I just admire. The people that I was able to build, make them people, because being people is very very important.
Yeah.
Being
Mhm.
human, you need to be human first before you become a successful individual or successful performer.
So in your business life, of all the clients that you've had, what's been the best success story, best fan letter you've ever gotten?
So let me talk about this. 2 years ago, it happened. So I got a note on LinkedIn. The person was known to me, but he has been not working with our organization for almost 4 or 5 years. And just out of the blue, he mentioned that I remember the training I spent with you, the 2 days in 2017, the leadership training. And then he went on talking about what he liked and how he is implemented things and how it has changed his life. So those messages, when people tell me without me asking them that okay, how it has helped them, that means I have made a world, or I have made a very big impact in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So everyone out there sees you in a certain light. You have all these bubbles of people, family, friends, clients, colleagues, those that you've mentored, but ultimately you live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm an introvert person, which is completely opposite of what I do. I want to, because of the number of talking I do, when I'm alone, I want to just relax by being to self, no disturbance. That's the peaceful. So I'm a beach person. I'm a water person, um, and I'm very emotional as an individual.
Yeah.
So that's one argument or a debate is happening in my house to get a pet, because I used to have pet in India and they were so close. It was very difficult to let them go when they passed away. So we are having that challenge right now. My kids are after me. So, but I agreed to it. So most likely in next 3 to 6 months we will have a pet in our house.
Yeah.
But yes, that those are the personality trait of mine.
Yeah. So if anyone out there wants to learn more about you, hire you, anything pertaining to your world, where can they go?
They can go to my website. It's www.habitsformiracles.com. But before they look into that, I would encourage them to look my work through this book, Habits for Miracles. That will give a lot of insight to them. I will be more than happy to talk about this book in your organization or your university, because I do believe that habits, if inculcated early on, would be more helpful, more beneficial.
Yeah.
So whether you're a student or you are having a midlife crisis, or you are having some medical issues because of which you are not able to do things the way you wanted to, this would be a motivator. This book, and I just got the author copies yesterday, actually the proof copies.
Wonderful. That's great. I love that. I love that. What is the plan?
This is just a regular plant where
Okay.
it's just coming out from the root.
Yeah.
So as the plant is coming out, is itself is a miracle.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to depict, that we can also have miracles in our life if you want to.
It's amazing. I look at life all the time and think about all the things that we may overlook, and there are miracles all around us. I mean, the fact that nature regenerates and does the things that we do, the amount of animals and botanicals and everything, it's amazing. And just what we can do, like with Mandela and all of that, it's really
Correct.
cool. So that's
Absolutely.
wonderful. You're tapping into that. Best of luck with the book and your business and everything as we move forward. Thank you for opening up your story. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.